Well, hello YouTube. Good morning. Here we are. Have ourselves a start to another day. It's a little bit of a windy day. They are calling for rain. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, it's been a few days since I last vlogged. Probably close to, well, a week or so, almost. Well, the big road trip kind of kicked my butt. As much as I don't want to admit it. Driving, my chosen profession, may or may not be the way to go once things get back to normal. However, a 15-hour drive is a little bit excessive to cram into one day as well, especially going into it with lack of sleep and other things going on as well. Well, of course, like I said, it's been pretty much a week. Still editing up the first draft of the road footage. My new editing software was being a dick. I believe that's about where I left off vlogging at. And I had to break out the old editing software, the version 14, the software from, what, like 2012. And I've been using that to try to get usable video out of it. However, it takes forever to render. You can literally start it and go do something else for, I swear, 48 hours and come back. And if you're lucky, it's done by then. And it's like, you know, kind of wow, right? But hey, it's kind of the way it is. It's a bit of a challenge to make videos. And unfortunately, I won't get the views that I want. But at the same time, those that do view it do enjoy the videos. So it kind of makes it worth it, I suppose. Well, of course, today, again, they are calling for rain. Gonna do a few things. Either in the office or end up in the garage, hopefully, before the day is over. Right now, it's a perfect temperature to be doing things outside. However, it is too early to be doing said things outside. With kind of the weather the way it's been, we've had plus 27, 28 Celsius temperatures, and for a guy like me, that is way too hot. Way too hot. I tried to be outside and I almost fried my brain. So kind of been spending it camped out indoors, out of the heat, out of the sun, and all that good stuff. Of course, just planning out the next big project, the one that I got here in front of me. For those on the social media pages, you'll know what it is. If you want a sneak peek at upcoming projects before the videos go live on the YouTubes, go join up the Facebook and the Twitter pages, and you'll get sneak peeks on what's going on, sometimes months before they actually hit the YouTube. Well, of course, we'll have to see, like I said, what the day unfolds. I'd like to do a few things, but we'll play it by ear and see what happens. Well, being a spring of the year, doing a little bit of cleaning, I put some free stuff out, and well, it is still sitting there. Even though it's advertised on social media, as well as Kijiji and all those sites, people didn't come get it, and it's kind of weird. Even though people are whining and sniveling, saying how they're broke and the economy's down, and other items just like it are selling on these classified sites, and people are buying these other items, they don't seem to come get the ones that I am giving away for free. So that tells me that obviously the economy's not as down as everybody's pretending it or being told that it is. A couple of the items are going to get wrecked here, probably in another 3-4 hours, if and when it rains. It's just a matter of time before it rains, and hey, it is what it is. These items that I have, I can no longer use, and given other people chances to get them, if they choose not to, well, I suppose, you know, again, away they go in the garbage trailer when I do my dump run. Well, of course, just kind of waiting here for tomorrow to hit. I got some more running around to do. Some of the running around that was left over from last week, as well as some of the running around that I need to do to get the groundwork going for this here project. Stop by the hardware store, pick up some goodies. Stop by the post office box. That totally slipped my mind last week. I had it on the agenda, and then it just gone like that, and next thing you know, 4 days later, so that box will be overstuffed with junk mail and flyers and all sorts of stuff. You never know. There might be a package or a couple of fan mail letters. I have to inquire again and find out when that box expires, because, well, I believe it was about this time last year that I bought it or rented it, and I don't want it to get it expired again or took away, because, well, I'm sure, they won't send you a letter saying it expires in a month. They'll just change the locks and away you go. Which, of course, would be a huge inconvenience when you consider I have promotional material printed up with my address on it, as well as it's out on every video, so, and social media page, and that would take a lot of expense and time to change all that, all because of somebody's neglect to inform a person that their box was expiring in 30 days. But gonna go in, make myself some coffee, babysit that upload, and well, if the rain hits, we'll do another check-in. If not, then we'll see you in a couple hours. Here we are. A little bit of an update. Well, rain hasn't arrived yet. We got ourselves a little bit of a cooler day unfolding. I guess, well, that's better. A cooler day is kind of nice because it allows everything to, well, get back to a normal temperature. Plus 30 is too hot. At least for me it is. Some people are running around in shorts, laying out in the sun, all this stuff, and I'm like, really? Why would you want to do that, I guess each their own. Some people are solar powered. They need to get their burn, their suntan earlier on, and then they're set for the season. I don't know, I'm kind of the opposite way. I'd rather be indoors during the day, and if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be at night. However, that being said as well, sometimes you can't do things at night because you have restrictions because of neighbors and such. If it wasn't for the neighbors, I most definitely would have been out in the shop, cutting and grinding and welding and doing stuff. But hey, that's the price you pay for living in town. In the perfect world, a guy would have himself an acreage with a nice shop where he can make almost as much noise as he wanted, and the nearest neighbor was like 5 miles away, and even that's too close. Little piece of land to have some fun with, little piece of land to have a couple of project vehicles or a couple of parts vehicles, and kind of live out his dreams. However, buying land's expensive. Unless your, daddy was a millionaire or granddaddy left land, or you're very seldom ever going to get ahead. You can get sometimes a piece of land for, $150,000, but then it's raw. There's no surfaces, no road. It's in the middle of nowhere. What do you do for work? Okay, fine. Build yourself a summer cabin. Skid a mobile home in there or an RV in there and live off the grid for the summer months. But that's not sustainable for the winter months. And if you manage to luck out and get power and gas and all that, then you're going to have ways to heat it. You're going to have ways to haul fuel, whether it's propane or coal or wood or In the summer, you got all that land to mow, all the grass to mow, and you can have, you know, goats or sheep or whatever to keep the grass down, but at the same time, then they need feed as well. Don't forget about the winter time. You got all that snow to move. Sometimes, if you have a kid living with you, or you know, a grandkid living with you, you can sometimes get the RM or the county to come plow for free, because the bus has to come pick them up. But that usually doesn't last long, and the kid moves on, or the kid changes schools, or there's budget cutbacks because someone needs new wheels for their Mercedes, and pretty soon that's out the window as well. I remember grandkids living out at my grandma and grandpa's acreage because of whatever reasons, and here's grandpa out there shoveling snow by hand because the RM or county or whatever would not come in and plow the road for the grandkids. However, you know, the plow would come in and do it for the oil company would come in and do it for the oil well there. So it was only like 100 feet you had to shovel by hand rather than, you know, the 150 to 200 feet. You know, like I said, there's a cost for everything, right? If you want to live in an apartment, you have restrictions on what you can do, by far. If you want to live in the house, you have some freedom, like a backyard, if you're lucky, a garage, room to have a project truck on the go or a project on the go. However, there's costs with that, you know. If you live, again, on an acreage, there's costs with that. And don't forget about driving. Don't forget about having to drive into town from the said acreage. How are the roads? You know, are they passable in the winter time, or are they basically just a summer road? Is it one of those roads that they don't plow much past October? You know, you need yourself a serious 4x4, almost with its own snowplow, to make it into town for work. Sure, you can buy a house in a small town somewhere for maybe $40,000. However, all that driving into town for a job, that's going to add up after a while. I know people who have, or were, living about 45 minutes away, and the number of cars they went through in just the few short years that they've been working was unbelievable. I thought I had a lot of vehicles. Well, you know, they have them for a year or two and they'd hit a porcupine or hit the ditch or wear them out or blow the motor or catch on fire, you know, things like that. And there they go, buying another vehicle just to come into work for a minimum wage kind of job. But pretty much, guys, they are still calling for rain. Don't know if it's going to hit or not. Time will tell on that, and away we roll. So go inside and babysit the editing software. If my calculations are correctly, I should be able to have a 15-minute video done and rendering by about this time next week, ready to go live for the YouTube. Here we are. We come to the end of another day. It was a quieter day. It was a good day. Did a few things close to home. Did a little bit of rest, a little bit of relaxation. Trying to get back into the whole vlogging swing of things after being away from the camera for probably 3 weeks, off and on. It's time to get, you know, things rolling again, as well as film some more Maxwell's World videos and well, start a new project. However, when I get going on it, it'll be hard to stop, so I need to put a balance between getting it usable and getting it done, you know, as much as you want it to be done and over with. At the same time, you know, you have to watch to make sure you don't go overboard and, well, spend too much. Well, of course, got rid of some free stuff, finally. People are weird. Like I said, even though they say the economy's down, people are still being fussy on free stuff. And I don't understand why. It's not like it's junk. It's not like it's garbage, as in, you know, filth or empty pop cups or used candy bar wrappers. This is all good, usable things. So, I don't know why, but some people were. Well, I had a few people message me, you know, can you keep it till next Thursday, or can you deliver it to like 45 minutes away? And hey, you know, it's free, right? Why would I hold it? It's not like you're going to buy it, and even if you were going to buy it, my experience with holding things is I usually end up getting stiffed and losing a sale anyway, so no. And from delivering it 45 minutes away, it's going to cost me fuel to deliver it that far, and they're not willing to pay the fuel. It's like, really, dude? It's free, you know? Just because I'm giving away stuff doesn't mean that I'm loaded with money that I can afford to spend another $40, $50 in fuel to bring you a free item, you know? Will you even be home when I get there? Like, you know, it's not going to happen, right? Now, if I was heading to the city for a doctor's appointment, I'm off route about 15 minutes or so. Maybe you could meet them along the highway or something. But generally, no. You know, you guys want something for free, you're gonna come to me to get it. Well, tomorrow I have a list of 10 things that I am wanting to get done. Running around, going places, returning a couple items, buying some new items, and hopefully by the end of the day we've started onto the new project. I got to see how it evolves, or how it, you know, unfolds. And if it goes the way that I'm hoping it'll go, then, well, we are good to go. I understand there's utility grade material that was used, and sometimes utility grade material cannot be made smooth. Give it a, you know, a perfect finish, so there's going to be some imperfections. The only other alternative is to rip it all down and resheet it with good material. But why rip out so-called perfectly good rough material and replace it with an expensive good material if, well, you don't really have to? But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.